What's up guys, this is Masi. Welcome to my channel. This video, following to the introduction to chemical reaction and chemical equation, I want to show you how to write a chemical equation. So here we have nitrogen monoxide plus oxygen. It's going to give you nitrogen dioxide. Nitrogen monoxide is a colorless gas and oxygen same thing, but nitrogen dioxide is red or brownish kind of color. So to complete the shorthand representation of this reaction, we must do two things. One of them is substitute the chemical formulas for name. So as you see here, for nitrogen monoxide we have NO, and for oxygen we have O2, and then we have nitrogen dioxide. Nitrogen dioxide is going to be NO2. In this expression there are 3 atoms of oxygen as on the left hand side, on the reactant side, 2 and 1. 1 plus 2 is going to be 3. Which is saying that on the left side 1 mole in the molecule of NO and 2 in the molecule of O2, but only 2 oxygen atoms on the right hand side and the product side. So it's not balanced, so we need to balance this chemical reaction. So because atoms are neither created nor destroyed in the chemical reaction, this expression needs to be balanced, and the process is called balancing the chemical reaction. Balance the numbers of atoms of each kind on both sides of the expression to obtain a balanced chemical equation. In this step, the coefficient 2 is placed in front of the formulas for NO and NO2. This means that 2 molecules of NO are consumed and 2 molecules of NO2 are produced for every molecule of O2 consumed. In a balanced chemical equation, there are 2 nitrogen atoms and 4 oxygen atoms on each side. So in a balanced chemical equation, or in a balanced equation, the total number of atoms of each element present is the same on both sides of the equation. So now as you see here, we have 2NO plus O2 is going to give you 2NO2. So as you see here, we have 2 nitrogen atoms on the reactant side, we have 2 nitrogen atoms on the product side. So 2 plus 2 is going to be 4 oxygen atoms, and 2 times 2, 4. So we have 4 oxygen atoms. So that's completely balanced. So the coefficient required to balance the chemical equation are called stoichiometric coefficient. So basically these 2, 1, and 2 are the stoichiometric coefficients of these chemicals. These coefficients are essential in relating to the atoms, the amount of reactants used and products formed in the chemical reaction. Through the variety of calculations in balancing chemical equation, keep the following point in mind. And what is the point? An equation can be balanced only by adjusting the coefficients of formulas. So these coefficients, or stoichiometric coefficients, are extremely important for calculations, for chemistry calculations. We will see it later on. So the method of equation balancing described above is called balancing by inspection. Balancing by inspection means to adjust stoichiometric coefficients by trial and error until a balanced condition is found. Although the elements can generally be balanced in any order, equation balancing need not be a hit or miss affair. Here are some useful strategies for balancing equations. Number 1, if an element occurs in only one compound on each side of the equation, try balancing this element first. When one of the reactants or product exists as the free element, balance this element first. In some reactions, certain groups of atoms, for example polyatomic ion, remains unchanged. In such cases, balance these groups first and balance it as a single unit. For example, we have sulfate, phosphate, carbonate, stuff like that. So you consider the whole thing as a single unit.